Thank you very much, listeners. So I want to take the following things. I just have 5 things to talk about, but some of them are just very brief. Kenya needs serious education. Information. Remember, Ruto's main tool is misinformation, disinformation. He has mastered that, and he knows that that is his strength, and he's going to use it to the last coin. How can we change Kenya now, not tomorrow? The Kenyan problem is economic. All these things we are talking about, changing laws, taxation, everything, it is just around economic issue. I maintain that. Even you see now, for example, the president saying he want to have a law to hang people who are found with drugs. I'm telling you, Jens, if we are not careful, he will be using these drugs whereby if you are putting pressure on him, you are just, there are some drugs put on you and charges, then they say you should be hung because you are using drugs. It is his ways to do the next level of adoption because I've told you, he's the king of disinformation and misinformation. So I'm thinking that this could be one of them, and we should actually be very vocal about that in these rights. I want to say that we have no government, and I want to state this carefully with the following. One, can you imagine a government is doing 3 things at the same time that should not be a single problem for any single individual? Why am I trying to say so? Can you imagine yourself that if you are a government, you have one, you are over borrowing. This government has borrowed 13 trillion, and this year they are supposed to borrow another 1 trillion to make it 14 trillion. So if borrowing was the only problem, I have no problem with that. But this borrowing is also having another problem. That they are selling Kenyan assets to finance the economy. So you cannot be over borrowing. At the same time, you are selling your assets to finance your budget. At the same time, you have pending bills and pending wages which you are not paying. At the same time, you are overtaxing people. At the same time, you are defunding education, you are defunding healthcare, you are defunding service delivery like giving IDs, passports, birth certificates, title deeds. You cannot, it's like your heart is having a problem, your kidneys failed, your brain is not working, and your lungs are clogged, and I don't know what else is not working. You can't urinate. How can you have those problems at the same time you're alive? This government is a scam. So this deals down to mega corruption, which is killing this economy. And I don't know when we can just target to go and ban EACC and put it into fire and tell the whole world that that is our biggest problem because EACC cleans everybody. The president passed through EACC, was cleared by EACC. The deputy president was cleared by EACC. All MPs were cleared by EACC. All ministers, heads of parastatals, any single person called state officer was cleared by EACC. How can EACC be spending 58.5 billion shillings a year since it was formed, yet they have recovered only 28 billion shillings since they were found? Is that not a loss? Yet we know that the money stolen since independence is 6.7 trillion, where Kenyatta squandered 200 billion for the years he was there, 15 years. Moi squandered 1.2 trillion for 24 years. Kibaki went with 610 billion. Kenyatta's junior, that's Uhuru, went with 608 billion. And Ruto has taken 3.7 trillion in just 3 years alone. And much more is to go. How can EACC exist? And I said EACC is clearly a washing machine. And that washing machine, we have to wash it. And I'm saying we should hug EACC with fire. That fire should just hug that building on fire. Then we shall know we are serious because that is the aggressor. I'm sorry to say that, but that's a crime. Now, having said that, we should actually find how we can build alternative leadership for Kenya. Alternative leadership should be a leadership which is focusing on how can we focus on meritocracy and ignore these things of oligarchy, which is what is happening in the current government. How can we bring the issue of technocracy in government and remove the issue of democracy, which has been the biggest problem? And I'll end shortly by just trying to explain to you what is happening in ODM, because I'm sure that has been highlighted. ODM has had to die because at the moment, the fight you are seeing here, I want to just give it some high. I've been a member of ODM for a long time, even Raila's consultant. What you are hearing is a ploy where they are saying they are disagreeing, because I know they want us to focus on ODM discussion for the whole of 2026. And if you're not careful, we'll discuss about a dead horse for a whole year and a half until discuss about ODM after the election. So let us be careful not to discuss ODM too much. Sometimes if you discuss about a monster, the monster grows. But if you let the monster quiet, the monster dies. So we should make a decision as a nation whether we want to discuss ODM from Monday to Sunday. The problem with ODM is that it has no direction. When I was growing up as a young boy, I was a son of a catechist. I was being told that a devil is a snake with 10 heads, because a snake with 10 heads cannot go anywhere. That's why we say the devil does not want to go to heaven, but that very devil do not want us to go to heaven. It is sitting on the gate to heaven, so that if you try to enter heaven, they bite you. But it cannot enter heaven. So ODM is this snake with 10 heads. One head is Babu Wino, another one is Sifuna, another head is Oburo Dinga, another one is Aida, another one is Winnie, Opio and I, Badi, Joho, Jonet. They're just these so many heads that are biting people in different directions, and they don't want to go anywhere because ODM does not want to form government now. They have no business. They're just stopping Kenyans from achieving the shocker we call one term. But they don't want to even form government. What they want, we don't even know. So, according to me, ODM should just be forgotten. This ODM that claims to be democratic, they have never elected any official for 20 years. There have been no competitive election from the grassroots level, even to national level, and they are being called democratic. It's been the biggest scam ever. And today I said on TV47, ODM is a family business, which is run like a kiosk. When you run a kiosk for long, when you die, you die. I have seen people who have been running kiosk. When they died, the kiosk was closed and people forgot about it. You cannot run a political party like a kiosk. A political party must run professionally with structures that function. So the last thing I just went to weigh into this Robert Alai and Babu thing. I was today at the Afia Center with the OCS Kilimani, and I just told him, OCS, what makes you think that this Babu Wino thing is real? And he told me 95% of the information they have reviewed using the forensic laboratory, which is based at the DCI, shows that this was stage managed. So there is nothing here. They're just stage managing. They agreed that they both can grow their brand by people talking about them for a country. Then they create a scene over this festive season. And they are very happy where they are, because if you look at the body language of Babu Wino there and that, but they don't seem people are quarreling. When somebody is angry to the point of pulling a gun, you cannot come back again, sit down, then begin the war again. I don't think that can be possible. So as far as I'm concerned, let them play their game and make Kenyans who can be deceived to continue. But I don't think that we have enough. We have our intelligence can allow us to believe that this was real battle. That's why you have seen there's no arrest. Even Babu Wino does not want Alai to be arrested. Alai does not want Babu Wino to be arrested, but they want the story to proceed. Let me say thank you very much for listening. Allow me to stop.